In this video, we're going to discuss the correct form and structure for standing meditation or Zhan Zhuang Qigong. And this is one way to do it. Obviously, there are quite a few others. This is the way that I learned while I was studying in China. And so I thought I would just share this with you and make this available. There's also going to be video segments that we're going to post after this one where you will have a chance to just follow along. There won't be any instruction. There won't be any introduction. It's basically just going to be some length of Zhan Zhuang Qigong that you'll be able to follow along with, so that if you have 5 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the morning that you can set aside to practice, then you can just hit play on the video and follow along and, you know, get your practice done without having to try to set a timer and all this stuff and make it more complicated than it has to be. So in this video, we're describing how it's done. In the other videos that are coming, those will just show you an example that you can follow along to. So for starters, as you do this, the most important thing is the correct body structure and the alignment. And like with most Qigong exercises, you want a slight bend in the knees, you tilt the hips just enough to straighten out the curvature of the lower back, tuck the chin slightly to straighten out the curvature of the neck. You imagine that you have like a string gently pulling on the top of your head, elongating the spine, and a string gently pulling on your tailbone, stretching the spine in both directions. You don't want that to be a tense stretching where you're like mentally trying to push your head up. You just relax and let the spine feel as though it's expanding in two directions, just elongating. You gently press your tongue against the roof of your mouth. And to start with, we're going to cross our hands over the lower belly. For ladies, it's right hand on the inside with the left hand on top. For guys, it's left hand on the inside with the right hand on top. Start with your feet. It can be about shoulder width, maybe a little bit farther, whatever's comfortable for you there. Hands crossed at the lower belly. Tongue gently pressed against the roof of the mouth, as I said. Make sure your alignment is as it should be. Relax the chest. Relax the upper body. Feel your body weight sinking down into your center and rooting into the floor like you're very solid and attached to the floor. Here you just breathe naturally for a little bit, focusing on the lower belly. The number of times that you breathe there is up to you, whatever feels comfortable. And after you're done with that and you're ready to move on to the next part, as you inhale, you bend your knees, and as you exhale, you push up. Inhale again, bending the knees, going a little bit lower this time, exhale, push up. And then the third time, you go even lower, then you exhale and push up, keeping the back straight the entire time. Once you finish that, your feet turn in. Now, if you find that this is too uncomfortable for your knees, it is okay to keep your feet straight. Don't leave them pointing out. You either want them straight or turned in at least slightly. The knees will line up with the toes, and you just sink into the structure. Now, when you're doing those inhales and exhales like we just did, as you inhale, imagine you're pulling that breath into the lower belly, and as you exhale, imagine you're condensing it there, or pulling energy into the lower belly. So inhale, lower belly, exhale, condense there, as you do those 3 breaths. Your toes turn inward. You maintain that same structure that we started with the straight spine, elongated, tongue against the roof of the mouth, and you're going to bring your arms up to about shoulder height in front of the chest. Now the arms are rounded. Your chest is slightly sunk inward. You don't want to stand with your chest pushing out, like showing off your chest muscles or really good posture like we normally think of it. From here, let your chest sink in a little bit and relax. Now you don't want to arch the back and push your back out and really push the chest in. You just want to allow it to fall, relaxed. So when you're here, it's like you're hugging one of those big exercise balls, and you want it to be round all the way through this. Here. If I push my chest out, then it's going to be round and it's going to hit this flat spot, or this part that pushes out and then go round again. So you want to round all of it and relax. From here, as you breathe, your hands will pull apart just slightly, and as you exhale, the hands push back toward each other. And breathe in. Now you're breathing in and out through your nose. Your mouth is still closed, and your tongue is still pressing against the roof of your mouth as you do this. And you can do that as many times as you want to. A good target is to try to do 90 breaths. Really slow, really deep, controlled breaths that are relaxed and not tense. As you breathe, you want to breathe deep into the abdomen. And the simplest way to do it for beginning is just as you inhale, you push out with the abdomen. As you exhale, you squeeze the abdomen in. So you don't want your chest raising up as you inhale and falling down as you exhale. You want your chest about the same the entire time. The breathing is down with the diaphragm, pushing the belly out as you inhale, pulling the belly in as you exhale in this posture. So let's go through just the first bit one more time. So you step with your feet about shoulder width apart, check your alignment, bend in the knees, tilt in the hips, tuck the chin so you have the straight spine. Elongate the spine like you have a string pulling on the top of the head, one pulling on the tailbone, so your spine is erect and elongated. Tongue gently pressing against the roof of the mouth. Cross your hands over the lower belly. Ladies with the right hand on the inside, guys with the left hand on the inside. Breathe, focusing on the lower belly for as many times as you want to. When you finish that, you breathe in, sinking, drawing that energy into the lower belly. As you exhale, you stand up and compress it in the lower belly. You do this 3 times, inhaling down, exhaling up, keeping your back straight. 3rd time, inhale down, exhale up. Toes point in. Arms come up like you're hugging a ball. As you inhale, the hands separate. As you exhale, they push back together. Make sure your shoulders aren't coming up with this with a lot of excess tension. Relax your shoulders as much as possible and sink your weight into the stance. Breathing in and breathing out. Now as you do this, there's a couple different things you can focus on. One is focusing on what's called the Lao Gong point. And if you take your middle finger and bring it in and poke your palm, where it's poking, that's considered your Lao Gong point. And it's a pretty important point in Qigong and in internal martial arts for releasing power and strikes. So you can either just focus right there as you're breathing and not really worry about anything else, or you can focus on imagining that breath or that energy as you inhale is coming in through that point, traveling up the arm and down to your lower belly. And then as you exhale, you're pushing it up from the lower belly, back, and out that point on the hand. So you can focus on that inhale, it draws in the hand, comes up the arm, down to the lower belly. Exhale, it pushes up from there and back out the hand. Or you can just focus on the Lao Gong point. Another thing you can do is forget about focusing on anything in particular and just be aware of your body structure. This one is excellent for adjusting your body's position, your balance. A lot of times when we carry ourselves, we tend to carry one side a little higher than the other or carry more tension in one side. And as you do this, you'll start to notice that because you'll see one arm start to come down a little bit. You'll go, wait a minute, this isn't level. And so as you start to adjust into this and find that relaxed posture, without focusing on anything in particular, just being aware of your entire body, as you relax into this stance, you're going to start to find that your body adjusts so that you carry yourself more evenly after you've done this for quite a while and you become more aware of your body. So as I said before, your goal here is about 90 breaths. And you want to practice just this, and then going into the end, which I'll show you now, for about your first month. If you're practicing every day, then you want to give it about a month, at least, before you go into the next part of it. So if you're in your first month, this is your first time doing it, you're just getting into this, start just like I showed, get here, work slowly up toward 90 breaths. If you don't get there ever, that's okay. It's a good starting, or it's a good goal to have, but it's not an absolute must. This will help your balance, it will help your body structure and your alignment, even if you're doing less than that, as long as you stay consistent with it. When you're getting ready to finish, say this is a few weeks, few months, maybe even years down the road, and you've gotten up to your 90 breaths, or this is your first time doing it and you've only done 10 breaths, but you're ready to stop. You start the end by straightening your toes. So now they're facing forward. You bring your hands in at chest level, palm down with your elbows at the same height as your palms. As you inhale, your hands stay about where they are and the elbows drop and squeeze in. Again, drawing that breath into the lower belly. Exhale, come back up. Breathe in, sink down, a little bit lower. Exhale, come back up. Then your third one, inhale, sink down, exhale, and come back up. So you do 3 of those. Inhaling down, exhaling up. And remember, it's elbows coming in, not arms opening out. It's inhale here, exhale here, not inhale here, exhale here. Okay, so you do 3 of those. After you do that, the hands drop down. You can inhale as they drop, but you exhale as they circle up overhead. Then you inhale as they pull down. Exhale. Inhale. One more. Exhale. Inhale. And as they come down, on this last one, they cross again at the lower belly. Ladies with the right hand on the inside, guys with the left hand on the inside. So you do 3 of those breaths. Now this is a little different than you probably normally would do breathing exercises. A lot of times it's inhale here and exhale here. So remember, this is opposite. As the arms are coming up, you're exhaling. As they're coming down, you're inhaling. Now what you're focusing on as you do this, again, all the breathing's through the nose. As the arms are coming up and you're exhaling, you're letting energy flow from your lower belly down through the legs and into the floor like you're growing roots into the ground. Exhale. Now as you inhale, you imagine that you're drawing energy in through the crown of your head all the way down to your lower belly as you inhale. Then as you exhale, again, you let it flow down through the feet into the floor. And as you inhale, you draw more in into your lower belly. Exhale, let it flow out. Then the last time you inhale, you're drawing it in, and you just keep it in the lower belly, crossing the hands there. Okay? So after you've done all of that, hands are crossed on the lower belly, then you're going to rub your belly in one direction. Now the best way to tell which way to rub is just to bring your hands over to the right side, come up on the right side, across to the left, down on the left side, and then back across. So you're making a circle. And you don't have to push hard, you're just gently rubbing to help stimulate your energy flow to your internal organs in the lower belly. And the amount of time that you rub isn't that important. You just continue rubbing until you feel comfortable. After you do that, you put your hands. A good way to do this is just make circles with your hands or make fists. You kind of make circles where it's like, binoculars, and you actually have a hole going through the hand, or you can make them into fists, whichever is more comfortable. And you place them on the kidneys. So you're taking this part of the fist, you're putting it where the kidneys are. And then you just rub in little circles to massage the kidneys. The amount of times that you do that isn't that important also. There are different ideas on how many times it should be done. Really, whatever feels comfortable for your body is the best thing for you to do. After you do that, rub your hands together so they're nice and warm, if they aren't warm already. And then you're going to massage your face, rubbing up the center, coming out to the sides, and then down. Again, as many times as you want. So I'm going to go through it from beginning to end. Then I'm going to show you the sort of next level of it that you can do after you've been doing it for a while. So again, we start stepping with the feet right around shoulder width. A good way to think of it is if my shoulders were to drop straight down, they should fit right in between my feet there. That's about the distance that you want. Hands crossed over the lower belly. For guys, left hand on the inside. For girls, right hand on the inside. As you inhale, you bend. Exhale, push up. You do this 3 times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Here, you turn your toes in, only as far as is comfortable. Relax into this stance. Bring the arms up about chest level, rounded, chest slightly sunk. As you inhale, the hands separate slightly. As you exhale, they push back together. You do this for X amount of breaths. When you're ready to finish, toes go forward, hands come in at chest level. Inhale, elbows drop. Exhale, they come back up. You do this 3 times. That's 1, 2, and 3. Hands drop, inhaling as they go down. Exhale as they circle up, allowing that energy to flow out the bottoms of the feet. Inhale as they come down, drawing that energy in through the top of the head, down to your lower belly. That's 1. Exhale. Inhale, breathing through the nose. Exhale through the nose. And inhale through the nose. This is your 3rd one, so we finish by crossing the hands on the lower belly. Focus there as you breathe for as long as you want to, staying nice and relaxed. Then we rub our lower abdomen and our belly, going up on the right, across, down on the left, as many times as feels comfortable. After that, you make those fists out of your hands, take the thumb side, place it on the kidneys, rub up, out, and down. Circular motions, massaging the kidneys. As many times as is comfortable. After that, rub your hands together and massage your face. So the next level of this, after you've been doing it a while, and you can get up to those 90 breaths, you go through the same beginning. Everything's the same. So here, 3 breaths, toes in, up here. You do your 90 breaths. From here, your elbows drop slightly and your hands turn to face each other. So it's like you're holding, like someone just threw a ball and you just caught it in front of you. Palms facing each other. Here, you want to make sure that you don't close your armpits. Keep that open to allow good energy flow, holding the hands about chest level still. While your hands are here, you take your focus and your intention and you just put it all into your lower belly. So if you were to go maybe 1 inch to 1.5 inches or so below your belly button, and then you go straight back so that you're at your center line both sides, so like the very center of your body at that level. That's where your focus is. So while you're holding this position, you're just focused there. You're imagining that you're gathering energy or light or whatever you feel like imagining you're gathering there. As long as it's a good thing, you're gathering it into that area of your lower abdomen while your hands are here. And you can do that for as long as you want or as short as you want. Then when you're finished with that, your arms rotate back to your beginning posture. Inhale and exhale. Just like before, all through the nose. After you've done that for several breaths, you straighten the toes and you go through the exact same ending. So remember, start with just this. After you've been doing it for at least a month, probably longer is a good thing, and you can get up to those 90 breaths. After you finish the 90 breaths, then you can change the posture and change your focus to just the lower belly. And stand there for as long as you like. Return back to the first posture. Breathe like you normally would, moving the hands only slightly. Again, as you inhale, you don't want to do this, and exhale. You're not trying to fly. You're just moving the hands slightly and pushing them back together. The reason you move the hands is you can kind of start to feel, after you've been doing it a while, you can feel a little bit of resistance as they push back toward each other. And it's almost like they're both magnetic, and you can kind of feel that field as you're moving the hands in and out. And that kind of helps develop your awareness of that. So as you're inhaling, they separate slightly. As they exhale, or as you exhale, they push back together slightly. So hopefully that was clear enough and explained where things are supposed to go, when you're supposed to be breathing, how you're supposed to be breathing. Soon there will be videos up that will show you just the sequence without any explanation. There won't be any music. It will be completely silent, so that if you feel like practicing with music, you can. If you feel like practicing in silence, that's an option also. The only things that you will hear are soft chimes that will let you know when something is changing. So when we start the video, we'll start here, breathe X amount of time, then you'll hear a chime that will let you know, okay, we're doing our breaths. Then you can follow with that, turn the toes in and come up. With this breathing, instead of saying a number of breaths for those videos, we're going to give an amount of time. So you'll be standing in this posture for, say, 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes. There will be different increments that you can try to see what works best for you, and then work toward longer increments. And then after you do that, you'll hear a chime that will bring you back to this, and you can finish. And then towards the longer segments, we'll also incorporate that middle section too. So hopefully this helped give you some ideas on how your structure should be when you follow along with those. I hope you take advantage of this and really work on your standing Qigong and spend a lot of time with it. So thank you for watching.